Hi guys, JongLi here, and I'm back with another online commentary battle for Total War. This time it's a 1 vs 1 CWB battle, and I'm playing as the Armenians, and my opponent is Vicox, also known as Arminius here, playing as the Scythians. And yeah, so I've actually gone with a pretty infantry heavy Armenian build, hoping to counter his maidens with my infantry. Because the cataphracts don't stack up too well value-wise against their headhunting maidens, so it doesn't feel too good to engage those. That's why I've also only gone with 4 cataphracts and gone for a bit more light cav. So I've got 2 Arab cav, one here, and 2 horse archers. 2 horse archers are standard, and it's the same for Scythia, so 2 horse archers. He's got 4 warhounds though, and a lot of archer warband, 6 archer warband I believe, and I think 1 chosen archer warband at the end there. So he's also got, of course, the 6 maidens. We'll just get things started. These war dogs, I don't use them too much myself. I think generally they're used to hunt the horse archers, because they run very fast and they just chase the horse archers all around the map, and makes it very hard for them to really get any work done at all. Sometimes you can also use them to chase archers, but I don't think that's the best. I think sometimes they can also be used to swing the cavalry battle if there's a big one going on and you get some war dogs in the back. It could make a difference. So yeah, I'm not too sure how to really counter the war dogs either. I know getting pikes down in front of them is one way to go about doing it, but it's quite difficult to do because you have to get the pike directly into its line of its running line. And you're going to see Vicox really just shoot straight for these horse archers here with the war dogs. Horse archers here, and some horse archers already going down to arrows, so definitely not nice to see. I'm trying to get his horse archer here with my Arab cav, and I am going to catch maybe 1 unit or not. And my units are actually going to get shot, and he's going to bring a maiden in there to try and counter. On the other hand, I do manage to get a unit of Arab cav into these Scythian horse archers, so that I was pretty happy about that. But they are being pursued by war dogs now, and a maiden as well, and this unit will probably come back unless I chase it off, so that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm really just trying to kill that horse archer unit for good. These warhounds still running around, and this Arab cav also still running around. And over here, as you can see, the war dogs being used to good effect. I'm not letting my horse archers do any work at all. I really want the horse archers to be shooting his archers or even his cav, but he's just used his warhounds to pretty much make my light cav very difficult to use and also very difficult to micro. So yeah, this unit's going to get caught, so I am going to be sacking this unit essentially for a horse archer here. These warhounds are also going to continue pursuing my rounding units, so at least it keeps them occupied for a bit, but I'm not sure if it's too worth it to trade that Arab cav for just a horse archer. But didn't micro this unit all that great, and now the warhounds have caught it, so they're going to drop fairly fast, and it's already down to 7 men, so it's pretty much dead. You can pretty much count that as not a unit at this point, just because it wouldn't even rout an archer if it charged into it, so that was very unpleasant as well. I've lost, I think, both my horse archers already, so I'm already very behind in the missile fight. I have 1 more horse archer here, I guess. That might have been the unit that we were just looking at. That could have been this one. This horse archer is dead, this horse is still alive, my Arab cav are both dead. I believe the other one was caught by the maidens, so that was not fun for me. And this has made Arminius a bit more confident, so he's been starting to go for some archer pickoffs here as well. And I'm trying to counter these dogs by having the spearmen here, but apparently they're not going to do much. these dogs gonna run straight through and try and get at these cataphracts. I think that's a lot of dogs. That's a lot of dogs. I think there's 2 units worth of dogs there. I do get some of them caught on my heavy spearmen though, which is, I think, fine. And Vicox now trying to set up for for some kills on the infantry with his cav. So I'm trying to bring my infantry over here so they're a bit more safe. But while they're running around, they're just going to get shot. And also it opens them up to some charges from Vicox. All my archers pretty much dead now, and a lot of Arminius' archers still alive. So it's looking very grim for me now. And my hopes at this point were to get a really good engagement with my cav and with my infantry in the mix as well, because that's the only way I can really bring this fight back, is if Vicox tries to take an engagement and then I get my spearmen and cataphracts in at nice angles and nice positions. And these spearmen are gold, so there is a little bit of hope for that idea. But Armenian heavy spearmen, not the greatest pikes you could have around. And Vicox actually gonna see this loose formation heavy spearman unit here and just kill it with a charge. This one as well will probably die very quickly. The morale on these guys is not great. Pikes are short, stats are not all that high. And so the maidens will make very short work of them. So now I've only got 2 heavy spearmen to work with and 4 cataphracts, while he still has, I believe, all 6 of his maidens, 2 there, 2 here, and 2 over there. He's got a horse archer here left, and pretty much all his archers still remaining, and also his 4 war dogs, or at least the men in them. So it's looking almost unwinnable for me now. And I'm still hoping and praying that Vicox will somehow take a really poor engagement. I'm trying to get him to engage, actually, because I don't want him to use his archers any more than needed. I don't want him to get all his arrows off, because that would probably spell the end of my remaining forces. My heavy spearmen are probably going to get chipped down here as well, and they are down already to 29. This one's down to 29 as well, and not sure why the game is lagging now. But yeah, so again, I'm waiting for any opportunity that might present itself, but Vicox hasn't really given me that. Hasn't taken he hasn't made any moves towards engaging my cav before his archers have used up a couple more arrows. I'm going to catch this Chosen Archer Warband here, probably just a skirmish mode thing where they don't really run away well enough. And I've taken a cav fight here, and I have to commit essentially to every fight now, just because I really want this big engagement with all my units in it. And yeah, I do manage to get some nice angles here. But he's going to get a very nice angle in here on my general, in fact, so that's quite dangerous. I also got a nice charge here, but he's got 2 units, and it isn't 2 units, but he got the counter charge in, and he's got even more coming in here now, so it's looking pretty grim for me. He's pretty much traded evenly. I've killed quite a lot of his cav, but he's also killed a lot of mine, and yeah, I'm still really hunting these maidens down, really trying to get as many kills on them as I can, trying to entice them into another big cav fight, because that's really the only way I can win this. And yeah, this unit's down to 1, which is not nice. This one's 18, this one's on 20, and the infantry's on 15 and dropping fast due to the archers shooting it. Yeah, Vicox, I've gotten a lot of kills on his maidens though, so that was a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. The light's eased up now, that's nice. Yeah, so this one's down to 14, this one's down to 14, this one's down to 1, this one's down to 6. These horse archers are still full, so that's to be expected. This one's down up to 23 though, so this is very deadly. and this one's on 14, so still very, very strong, and he's definitely still got the edge in cav. But he does have to commit with all his cav at once if he wants to kill all my guys, but that shouldn't be too hard considering how slow cataphracts are, and I have to move as a big group, because if individual units get sent out to places, the maidens are faster, so they'll catch them and kill them in no time, and any engagements will be immensely favourable for Arminius. So I think he might have used up most of his arrows at this point. Nope, some of them still have arrows, he's just resting them up, so I'm pretty dead in that regard. But I was looking at the situation and I thought, you know, this is pretty much unwinnable by reasonable standards, but the last hope is that with all these kind of cheap low morale units grouped up together, if I can get these kind of cheap grouped up units to chain route, and then he takes an engagement with the maidens within that chain route, then it is possible, although the chances are very slim, that I somehow swing the game back around. And you'll see me like just really look at this blob of cheap units very, very hard, considering whether I should just shoot for them and try and get a mass route and get those morale penalties going, because there isn't really any other reasonable way I can try and win this game. And these guys are mincing my guys up fast. So yeah, I got a nice pick off there actually with my general, and also enticing a full committal here from Vicox. Vicox gonna shoot for this, maybe a little bit overconfident, but I'm just going to take it here. This is actually a very poor engagement for me. The general, you know, gets caught out here, so my general was actually had a very high risk of dying. I throw this like one unit in, but obviously it's not going to make all that much difference. But over here, I'm actually starting to get a chain route with this big cataphract unit on some of these archers here, and I'm not even sure if the archers have actually used up all their arrows at this point, so maybe Vicox's getting a bit hasty there. My general somehow still alive while everyone else died, and I'm going to take, again, the cab engagement here next to all these routing units, and the morale penalty actually is good enough to create a chain route amongst the Scythians. And the best thing here was that his general routed, because his general routed, the morale of the Scythians will be very, very low, and I'm of course going to try and chase as many units off the field as I can, because when a chain route happens like this, when a mass route happens, it's very common for units, especially the bigger units, to come back. And I'm going to prioritize trying to kill these Scythian headhunting maidens, because without the maidens, I think I can do a lot more work. But really, I've only got these 6 cataphracts, including my general. This unit of 5 here and my general here. But I believe this unit had my general and this unit, I think both had a lot of chevrons on them, just from all the kills they got off these cheap archer units here and war dog units as well. But I am going to be able to chase all the maidens off the field, so I was pretty happy about that. And then it's just a matter of mopping up these units, but it's actually really close, because stat wise, all these units should actually be able to kill my cataphract. So I've got to be very careful not to lose my general here, and also I have to be careful to preserve my cataphracts, because without my cataphracts I am actually at a disadvantage. This heavy spearman unit got teamed by these 2 warhound units, and I think it had about 10 guys in it, and these 2 warhound units actually beat them, and this was a gold heavy spearman unit, and they did get engaged on, I think, mostly the front of the pikes, so that was a bit surprising to me. But he does have these warhound units here, and he's going to rest them up and just pretty much try and win the fatigue that way. Meanwhile, I am picking off his units, because his units routed off and then came back. They are relatively isolated, and so I am going to be able to pick off little groups of them, rather than having to kind of face them all in one united blob. I am going to be able to pick them off individually. And again, the morale is really low on these guys now. A lot of them are really exhausted from running, and also their general's routed, and for a barbarian faction the general is of course super important. So you're never happy to see your general rout, especially as a barbarian faction. but I'm just gonna make sure all these guys are dead, and then I've just got to turn and face these units of warhounds here. At this point, I'm actually still unsure how it will go. These warhounds are actually eager, so their morale isn't even that bad. Eager, and eager. Concerned because General has fled the battlefield, but they're only warmed up and winded at worst, so these are fresh guys. And my cataphracts are really tired now, although their morale is also pretty good. The fatigue on them is a little bit concerning, but I think as far as stats go, if these war dog guys just bunched up in one big bunch and engaged my cataphracts, I think it would be possible for them to win. So it is actually still a little bit up in the air, despite the mass rout that just happened against Scythia. And you'll see this happen in games with factions like Germania as well, where at the start, if Germania takes an engagement, it looks like he's going to win because of the mass rout, but a lot of units come back, and then suddenly Germania has lost a lot of steam and he's not in such a great position anymore. So I don't want to end up like that. Of course, I worked really hard to kind of swing this game around, really capitalizing on some of Vicox's mistakes, and it has been a really wild game, so we'll see how it ends now. Fast forward it, because this is just resting really. My guys are tired, so yeah, I really want to rest them up. My general is still around, so I'm feeling like maybe if my general wasn't around, Vicox would have a bit of a better chance. But because my general is around, I think my morale will be a bit better. So, feeling pretty good about that. Okay, now I'm charging in. My guys are winded, but I think that's fine. I'm just going to go for this mill unit here, hoping to get her out. I don't quite get it, so I'm going to pull out now. I do get it after I pull out. Units down to 4. And I'm going to charge in again, hoping to get the routes going, and I barely managed to scrape through with that one. And yeah, now I've won that game. As you can see, pretty crazy game and a pretty crazy comeback. Probably the biggest comeback I've actually ever done in CWB. You know, I've had my fair share of comeback victories, but this one's probably the craziest by far, just because so many things had to line up perfectly for the kind of the winds of fate to flow the other way. But yeah, good game to Arminius, and yeah, this was just a friendly game, so yeah, don't take this too seriously. I'll see you guys in the next video.